just like that, we're back. Views from Section 400. Matt, Brian, emphasis on the back, because Jack is back, joining us again, returned from the IL. Before I keep going, Jack, great to have you back, man. How you feeling?
Happy to be here, man. You know, injuries are part of the game, and they happen. It sucks. Hate to see the good players off the field, but we're back. We're ready, and I'm ready to hit 300. Let's do it.
Love to hear that, man. Love to hear it. But yeah, like I said, views from Section 400. It's the podcast. We're going over winners and losers of the week, NBA recap, NHL recap, NFL draft live shows tomorrow. Make sure you tune into that, and we'll have a fun little pick the first 10 draft picks, little game, whatever you want to call it. Stay tuned for the end of the show. We'll get into that a little bit later. But like I said, action-packed episode, as they all are. Uninterrupted sports conversation. Views from Section 400. Don't think you get anywhere else, but we'll jump right into it. On the last one, on the winners and losers, I gave Brian a huge curveball, and I started out with the winners and losers. But I will snub Brian again since Jack is back for the first time in a couple podcasts. Jack, who won the week and who lost the week?
It's good to be back. I don't want to bring any negative energy, so I'm coming at you with two winners, all right? Two winners. There's going to be a slight loser in the second winner, and Brian's not going to be happy about it, but we'll get into that. First off, shout out those boys out in Detroit, Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, getting the bag. Both of them get 4-year deals. Amon-Ra's getting 4 years, $120 million. Penei Sewell getting 4 years, $112 million, making them the highest paid wide receiver in the league, highest paid tackle in the league. Detroit is shelling out that money, and they have two cornerstones on their offense locked down for the near future. Happy for them.
Yeah, hell of a point guard center duo.
Hell yeah, if they ever need to go up against the Pistons, man. But
podcast, that was a big debate.
I was watching the clips. I saw ridiculous conversation. No NBA team is losing to an NFL team. It's just not happening.
Thank you.
I don't know.
You're welcome. Clearly not. But my second winner of the week, it's going to be Ryan Garcia, coming at you from the ring, not the hockey ring, the boxing ring. I know we don't get into too much combat sports on here. If we did, it'd definitely be MMA over boxing, but got to give Ryan Garcia his flowers. He bet on himself to win. I mean, on top of showing out and winning, he bet on himself to win in this crazy world of betting on your own props these days. He bet on himself to win $2 million, won $12 million off of that bet alone. Guess if you're a boxer and you're just betting on yourself to win, you're allowed to do that. Pretty impressive. Bet on yourself, gets it done. And the slight loser that's going to come out of this,
Brian, I know where this is going.
It's going to be your New York Mets. About a week ago, Ryan Garcia posted to his social media, "Fuck the Mets, these fucking mucks," whatever he calls them. He starts going off, never coming back, never show up to another Mets game again. Going off on them because they didn't let him throw out the first pitch after, I guess he was supposed to. He goes, "They wasted 3 hours of my fucking life. Fuck the Mets, never show up to a game." He's like trying to convince the entire world to never show up to the Mets games again. So tough look for your New York Mets, Brian, but Ryan Garcia is the winner this week.
I mean, I really don't blame the Mets at all. They almost threw each other off the Empire State Building when they were doing press up there. And that just didn't want to see. There's way too many. I was telling Matt about this. The Mets have way too many like random terrible accidents. They made a whole bracket out of bad accidents the Mets have had. So Ryan Garcia like punching Pete Alonso in the face and putting him on the IL was just waiting to happen.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, Ryan Garcia is definitely a wild card, and that's definitely not something that you would like to bring to a family-friendly first pitch baseball outing on a nice Sunday afternoon. But I don't know why you would even ask him in the first place then.
It could have also all been just propaganda to sell the fight, because I know he after they fought, he came out and said that he was drinking apple juice out of the beer cans, like he was putting on a big act. So maybe it was all some propaganda.
Maybe, man. You got to sell the fight, don't you?
I think they should have let him throw out the first pitch. Classic Mets move. But Brian, who won and lost the week? How are you going to top that?
Yeah, so my winner is kind of along the lines of the Mets. It's going to be Wieners. So on opening day, the Mets do a veteran of the game, and their veteran of the game was none other than Sergeant Seymour Wiener. And what they decided to do with that, after it got screen grabbed on Twitter, they're having a Dollar Dog Night presented by Seymour Wiener. So April 30th, it will be Dollar Dog Night at Citi Field. And shout out Wieners.
I did see that, and they also had Seymour Wiener as the main graphic on that. He was right there with a hot dog in his hand. So
yeah,
that's insane. That's like calling up like a prank, calling up like the local Starbucks or something like that, and being like, "Hey, can I get an order for Seymour Wieners?" Like, that
it's
can't
an
be a
absurd
real
name on opening day too, of the veteran of the game on opening day.
What were his parents thinking?
Yeah, that could not have been fun.
Saying, luckily he's old, because imagine if you had that name nowadays and you have to go into a Starbucks and order something, or go into Dunkin' Donuts, or go wherever you have to go where you have to give your name to receive your order. Or you're calling in, yeah, I need like 3 pizzas. Oh, what's the name for the order? Seymour Wiener. Well, like, are they going to make your food? You're going to show up in a half hour to grab your food. And it's not going to be right, because they'll be like, oh, thought this was a prank call.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's going to be like, no, it's my name. I want my food.
That's tough. I mean, he was in the military. That couldn't have been fun with the But yeah, the crazy part too,
back then.
The Mets rally pimp right now, the guy that's all over the place, his last name's Wiener. His name's Max Wiener. So it's just Wieners all over the place for the New York Mets right now.
Pause.
I guess I'll go
or in today's light, you gotta say no Diddy.
Jesus Christ.
It's only been like 5 minutes and we're already off the rails here. Who lost the week, you said?
Who lost the week?
Society did. So we used to live in a proper society where trends and meme culture was at least a little bit funny. The new meme on Twitter, I don't know who started this. It might have been like a sports page, but it's basically look between 2 letters on your keyboard and look for that letter. And I think it must have been like look between the Q and the E, and that's a W, and that's how all this started. But now you're seeing like the Guinness World Record tweet out look between T and U, look between T and U, and it's a Y. And it's like, yeah, when someone tries to break a world record, look between T and U. And then the X Twitter account tweeted today, look between Z and C, and it's just X. Like, these aren't funny. This is horrible. We used to live in a proper society with the Bad Luck Brians of the world and the Caps of the world and the dances. Like, this is horrible.
It's gotten out of control.
Yeah, that Bad Luck Brian poll right there was A1. Proud of you, Brian.
Like, I'm embarrassed to live on the internet and have to say yes when people ask me, hey, you remember this meme? I'm like, yeah, I remember that trend, unfortunately. Like, I'm embarrassed for the fact that I am on the internet during this horrendous trend. People say we're getting dumber. This shows we're getting dumber.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's an AI meme. We're just going to AI for all of our shit now. That's just what AI could come up with, and that's what we're rolling with now. All the creativity's gone.
I think.
Just stupid. So stupid. But I'll jump into my winner and loser of the week. Winner, thought this would be pretty obvious, thought somebody else would have it, but Reggie Bush getting his Heisman reinstated. Mm-hmm. Absolute winner of the week for that guy. Long overdue. In a day and age where NIL and guys making money, this, that, and the third. Guy should have never lost it. It's probably the greatest college football player I've ever actually got to watch live. I know people can say, oh, Bo Jackson or this or that. Best guy I've ever watched live. And you guys can debate that with me if you want. But long overdue, Reggie Bush wins the week for me, getting the Heisman reinstated that he should have never lost.
That lost Heisman created some controversy on the show when we did our trivia way back when. And no one could get that USC one. And I revealed it to you, and you were not happy.
I was pissed.
Yep.
Because he won it. It's his Heisman.
Not in the NCAA's eyes.
Well, now it is. So they can stick a Heisman up their ass.
Yeah, he never, that should have never been taken away from him. I understand that they had the rules back then that you couldn't make money off yourself, but what he did wasn't wrong. I got 2 things to say about that. I got to shout out Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, for being very vocal about getting Reggie Bush's Heisman back. I know that he has been in the media for the past few months, really advocating for it. So whatever Johnny Football has done, if anything at all, shout out to him. And second of all, Reggie Bush, no question, top 5 college football players of all time, but give me Cam Newton.
Yeah, I mean, that's Auburn bias.
I don't know. That was pretty insane. I was going to say give me Joe Burrow. What he did that year was ridiculous, too. Even Johnny Manziel may be above Reggie.
No. I feel like Burrow, I'm not trying to take anything away from Burrow. I'm really not. But the cast and crew that he had around him allowed him to do that. When you go back and you look at the tape of Johnny Manziel and Cam Newton, they put the team on their back. I mean, Johnny Manziel had Mike Evans bailing him out a little bit every once in a while, but those two were definitely special, and in my opinion, more special than Burrow.
Yeah, Cam Newton,
go
I guess.
Reggie Bush highlights and then get back to me.
I don't know. Cam Newton didn't have anybody. Reggie Bush also had Leinart and Giants legend Steve Smith. But yeah, no, Reggie was electric.
Reggie was electric. That's all we need to know. Winner of the week. Maybe winner of the week of all time for finally getting that back. Unbelievable. But yeah, props to Reggie, like I said, at least for me, best college guy I've ever watched. But loser of the week, obviously keeping it to this week and only a couple days ago, it's going to be the New York Islanders. They're up 3-0 in their Game 2 matchup. Blew the 3-0 lead, ended up losing 5-3, and now face a 2-0 series deficit. Would have been so huge for them to tie that series up 1-1 going back home. Instead, they blow a 3-0 lead, lose the game, and now have to return home down 2-0.
I mean, I as far as hockey goes, I've only been tuning into that Rangers Cap series. But what you just pulled up right there, that blowing a lead like that reminds me a lot of that Lakers game the other night against the Nuggets. Up 20 points against the Nuggets. You need to win that game in Denver, go back to LA, splitting it 1-1. Can't get it done. Blow the 20-point lead. Jamal Murray hits the game winner over AD. And you're down 2-0. You're down 2-0. You're going into game 3 at home, but it's just not a good look. Not a good look. You got to be able to steal one of those two.
Yeah, the difference there, I think the Lakers are cooked. The Islanders still have a fighter shot. But yeah, that's just it's so rough.
The series killer, man. They could have been going home, series tied 1-1.
Oh yeah.
Now the Hurricanes are no joke.
Favored to win the cup.
I know. That's good. That's what I'm saying. Going home, series tied 1-1. Absolute series killer to blow that lead. Now go down 2-0. So pretty tough beat for them right there. But as always, that's a winner and loser of the week. Do it every week. Stay tuned for the Michael on the next show. And the winners and loser will follow on the show after that. But winners and losers presented by Views from Section 400. Make sure you check out all the clips in case you missed it. And we'll get you on the next one. Moving on, NBA playoffs. We'll get to the NHL playoffs in a little bit. But for right now, NBA playoffs, obviously, full swing, right? We already had game 1, game 2. A lot of the series are rolling into game 3 over the next couple of days or whatever the case may be. But yeah, we'll just jump right into the first game here. I guess was Monday to kind of recap it. I said this to Brian on the last show. Cleveland Cavaliers are sweeping the Orlando Magic. They just took another commanding game win, up 2-0 in the series. Donovan Mitchell didn't even look as electric as he did in game 1. Still won the game by 10 points. Brian's convinced that Orlando is getting a win at home.
They are. I'm not too worried about it. The thing with the NBA is the role players show up when they're at home, especially when you're not as talented as the Orlando Magic are. Paolo and friends are still doing their thing. I'm not worried about them. Jalen Suggs, a little bit of an injury scare, but I believe he came back. The role players will get it done in games 3 or game 4. This will be a gentleman's sweep, but it won't be a sweep. I believe in the Orlando Magic. They will get at least one more fun TikTok song before their season ends.
Right. Game 3 or do they win game 4?
I think they win game 3. The fans will be juiced up for game 3. They'll win game 3 by 5 points. Paolo have some ridiculous go-ahead shot with like 30 seconds left, and then Donnie will miss a miss a three, and then they'll get fouled and win by 5.
I still got it as a sweep.
Yeah, no, I think I'm with Brian on this. I've liked the way that the Magic have played in these first 2 games, or I shouldn't really say like the way that they played, but they certainly have shown the potential to beat the Cavs. Again, we're talking about the Cavs, not the Bucks or the Celtics or someone like that. So will they maybe get one win in these playoffs? Yes, I do think that they will. The Cavs, though, they really haven't looked that great. Donovan Mitchell is the only one that's really looked that great. He's clearly the best player on the court in these games through the first 2 games in this series. It's Donovan Mitchell, and then there's a huge drop off to everybody else that's playing in this game. So Cavs are going to win this, but they're going to struggle moving forward.
They won both games by double digits.
Yeah, the Magic have scored, I think it's like 168 points across both games. But even double digits, it's like 10 points. And the Magic have played really poorly, and they've still kind of hung around. So I just think if the Magic can put together one game where they're hitting shots, they're going to win.
And that's what I'm saying by I kind of like the way that they've been playing. They've been playing decent basketball. They cannot buy a bucket. Nothing is going in for them. And I mean, that's half the game. But I do think that they're going to be able to get one against the Cavs, because the Cavs really don't have much outside of Donovan.
Disney World to Cleveland is a big change in scenery. Like, they probably are a little depressed. Like, they'll get back to Orlando. It's all sunny and tropical, and they'll be fine.
I think you express way more confident than a lot of people. I feel like I'm on the right boat here than you guys are, but we'll see what happens. I think they have to do it in game 3 rather than game 4, but I still have this as a series sweep for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But that's why we see that game 3 is tomorrow, right? Or tonight when everybody's watching this.
Yeah, it'll be hidden. The atrocities of that 90 to 89 game will be hidden by the NFL draft.
Yeah, it's the night of the draft tomorrow night.
And what we're getting into right now, Sixers Knicks, that game 2 debacle might have been one of the worst NBA games I've ever watched in my life, or at least the final 46 and a half seconds. Look, you can say whatever you want about Sixers filing the grievance, Nick Nurse calling a timeout, Maxey should have been fouled. It should have never got to that. Embiid missed free throws down the stretch. Kyle Lowry missed a series of free throws where he only made 1 out of 2. It should have never got to that. Did Nick Nurse call the timeout? Sure, he went like that. It wasn't clear. They didn't give him the timeout. Did Maxey get fouled? Yeah, he did. The NBA said he did. So this isn't a biased Sixer. The NBA came out and said it was a missed call. So it is what it is. You have to put it behind you. Am I annoyed, angry? Yeah, it's annoying. There's no reason to lose that game. Up 5, 40 seconds to go with the ball. You don't lose those types of games. They found a way to lose it. And now they got to come back to Philly, down 2-0, where they could very easily win 2 games and tie it up. But it was very critical to tie that series at 1 apiece and come back to Philly and seal the home court advantage. It sucks. It's annoying. It stings. The series isn't over until a team wins on the road, I think, is how that's going to go. And the way it's trending, well, I guess we'll see what happens when they come home. But we might see a game 7 in New York, and that'll just be an absolute nuts game. But, yeah, I am angry. It's annoying. We'll see what happens tomorrow or tonight in South Philadelphia.
Yeah, a couple things. So, yes, Maxey did get fouled. The NBA said he got fouled. But in the play-in game against the Heat, they had an inbound situation at the end, and it was kind of a disaster, but it worked out. And then Maxey and Embiid were kind of laughing about it. This was the same kind of situation. They ran the same play, and it turned into a disaster. So it just makes you think. I don't know why they didn't try to fix that after the Heat game, but it is what it is. And then also, when we were previewing this series, you were adamantly saying you were not worried about Isaiah Hartenstein. And this man did his best Kevin Love impression at the end of that game, got the rebound, kicked it out to DiVincenzo for 3, bang, and then got the block on Maxey. So he was the player of the game in those last 15 seconds.
Isaiah Hartenstein and what's the other guy? Miles McBride. Can't stand them. I think they're only playing well because it was the home crowd. I think they disappear on the road.
And that would bode well with what Brian was saying. All I got to say on that is Josh Hart is that dude. He's the one who's been playing out his shoes, elevating his Knicks to win so far. as much as I absolutely love Jalen Brunson and what he brings to this team and to this league, he has not been playing well through the first 2 games of this series. I do expect him to turn that around, especially, going on the road when the role players don't step up as much. It's going to be a lot on his back, on his shoulders, and he's going to have to step up. So I think he will. But Josh Hart has been the reason that they've gotten these 2 wins. I mean, Hartenstein too, DiVincenzo, of course, hitting the big shots. But Josh Hart, man, tip my cap to you.
Brunson is 16 for 55 from the field in 2 games. And he needed all the Knicks legends on the sideline. He needed Carmelo Anthony, Patrick Ewing to blow that shot in off the rim from 3 at the end of that game to get that to go. It's just, he's been struggling.
Yeah.
He's been struggling, and it's so hard. It's so hard to, like, obviously I'm rooting for the Sixers, but, like, dude, those are all my Nova guys. I mean, all the Nova guys, so I can't even hate. Like, dude, I love Brunson at Nova. I loved Hart at, like, DiVincenzo was awesome watching him in college, so just makes it sting that much more watching everything unfold. It's really such a shame. I mean, that's all I got there. I'll be more down in the dumps once I see what happens in Philly. If they drop a game in Philly, that'll probably be the nail in the coffin for the Sixers. But got to play the 2 games. I mean, there's a reason why they come home and play 2. They could very easily be going back to New York for Game 6, series tied 2-2. So we'll wait and see what unfolds over the next 3, 4, 5 days here whenever they wrap up those next 2 games.
Kelly Oubre, before the series started, had an interview with the reporter saying the celebrity road doesn't care about the Knicks. And it got Ben Stiller and company a little fired up. So they've been tweeting at him, subtweeting at him. And it's just been a nice little subplot to see, especially with the Knicks winning. And I almost wore my Knicks hat today, but I feel like that would have put you a little bit over the edge. So I refrained.
Yeah. I mean, why is Kelly Oubre? Why would you even say that? Win the series and then say that. Why are you, like, dude, heal your rib from your car accident.
Alleged car accident.
Yeah, we say it all the freaking time. Don't give them bulletin board material. This is the playoffs. They have every motivation in the world to come out with a vengeance and come out for the throat. Don't give them extra bulletin board material. Wait till the series is over. Move on.
It's been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons this year.
All the wrong
reasons. And he's been a fine player, fine role player, but, like, dude, come on.
Be more like Nicholas Batum, I guess.
Am I good to go to the next game, or you got more Knicks fucking Sixers bullshit?
You're good. Man, I hope they sweep them.
Oh, my God. Lakers, Nuggets. Here's one that's been fun. Everybody has the Nuggets touted as the team to win it all, and they're showing why they can do it. LeBron is no match for the team in the mountains.
Yeah, the altitude, man. He's no match for the altitude. Neither is Anthony Davis.
No, this is a game where when you have that Cavaliers Magic angle, here's where I could see that angle being, all right, LeBron will get one at home. But the Nuggets might gentlemen sweep them.
Look, man, I think it's over. I think after they just lost, that they blew that 20-point lead on the Nuggets in Denver last night. That was the nail in the coffin. That was like game 1 of the finals when J.R. Smith kicks it out with 2 seconds left on the clock. I mean, if you win that game, changes the whole thing. You lose that, deflates your team, deflates you for the series. I think they go back to LA and lose both. I really do. I don't think LeBron. I think if they were to have won that game last night, go back to LA 1-1, and them feeling good, I think they actually win the series. But now I don't think they win a single game.
We are talking about the guy that led his team to the only 3-1 finals comeback in NBA history. So I don't completely agree with that. But the Nuggets are just so good. And this is about 10 years after that happened, or 8 years, whatever.
It's literally 10 years ago. Maybe not that long, but long time ago.
Yeah, but yeah, Matt, like you said, in terms of the mentality, LeBron will get him one. He'll get him one.
Yeah, see, like, I can see that angle a lot more is, okay, LeBron will get one. But, like, the Magic?
Yeah, what? LeBron's teammate on Team USA, Paolo can get him one.
Jamal Murray is proving why he should always be on a max contract And any doubt of him not being on one is a bad take.
I got to give a little shout out to KCP as well. He had probably the highlight of the series in game 2. He was out on a fast break, jumps up and absolutely posterizes whoever was in front of him. I was not familiar with KCP's game like that. I am sorry, Mr. KCP, friend of the program. I did not know that you had that in your bag. I thought you were a good shooter, good defender. I did not know you had the bunnies like that. He came at I don't remember exactly who he dunked it on. Maybe it was Rui, but he threw it down on him, and I was like, that felt a little bit personal being against the Lakers.
Yeah, KCP's been balling out this series. Last thing I have here, I guess I could have put Murray in my winner of the week category with the Wieners, but that was a miss on my part. But yeah, KCP, I think he had 4 threes in game 1, 4 threes in like the third quarter in that when they came back. So he's been balling out.
That Nuggets team's just good. They've been there, done that. They won it last year, and they're poised to win it again this year. I think that's the bottom line there. But all right, we good to move to the Suns and Timberwolves?
Yep.
Because I think the Timberwolves are the team that gives the Nuggets the biggest shot or the toughest issue right now. I was not familiar with their game, but Ant Edwards, oh my gosh, what a player.
Yeah, I mean, before the season started, Brian asked us who our MVP was going to be. I did say it was going to be Anthony Edwards. Definitely does not deserve it. It's not what I'm saying here. But that man is on the rise, and it won't be long before he is the MVP.
I might get an Anthony Edwards jersey.
Wouldn't blame you. Timberwolves jerseys are sick.
He's that good. And that defense is just suffocating.
I mean, when your front court is Rudy Gobert, the defensive player of the year, and Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, I was watching the game last night. Karl Anthony Towns, he fouled someone, looked gassed. They pull him off the court. Who did they send in? Defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. What are you supposed to do against that? It's insane.
I don't know. Maybe the Sixers should take note and get another dominant big man to back up Embiid.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, at this point in time, there's no question that they have the best front court in the league. And if you pair someone up with Embiid, they will definitely be comparable. But until you get that second guy there, definitely going with the Timberwolves big man over anybody else in this league.
Only way to beat them right now might be to get one of your players to get COVID and sneeze all over the microphones.
Taking personal shots at Rudy Gobert. Didn't you see Rudy Gobert was crying the other day about how he's the weird Frenchman that nobody likes, and he's always under scrutiny for that. Now you're going to pile it on by calling him the COVID boy again. Just let it go, Brian.
I think Enes Kanter retiring really gave Rudy Gobert the international hatred player, I guess.
What isn't it like Enes World Peace or something like that?
He did change his name. What did he change his name to?
And
his freedom. And his freedom.
Okay.
And then he got blackballed. Can't go home because I think he gets shot.
Yeah. No, well, he'll get kidnapped and then killed, but same thing.
Yeah, same thing. They might not shoot him, but they'd find a way to kill him.
Well, yeah. It would not be good if he returned to his home country of Turkey. But yeah, I mean, is what it is there. But yeah, I think the Timberwolves have more of a shot than a lot of people give them credit for. So we'll see how that plays. And is this a front office failure if the Suns don't make it out of the first round with Devin Booker, Brad Beal, and Kevin Durant?
I think so. I think that's a great way to put it. I do think it's a front office failure. And I don't know if that's a fair thing to say, but I'm going to say yes. And it comes down to Bradley Beal. I mean, that was the big name acquisition in the offseason, pairing him up with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. You get Ayton ships out of town because he's unhappy. You bring in Brad Beal, another shooter there. He hasn't done jack shit for them. I mean, Eric Gordon is playing better than Brad Beal, and you're paying Brad Beal money. So, yeah, I think it comes down to they brought in the wrong guy for the team, and kind of sucks that the Suns had to match up with the Timberwolves in the first round. Definitely a tough first-round matchup, but everybody in the West is a tough first-round matchup. So you're not getting any excuses there. I think you're right. I think they brought in the wrong guy.
They never played with each other, too. It's like the Nets all over again. Like, they're always hurt. And then you see it now against a good defensive team when they haven't been playing with each other. They're not going to run the plays right. They're not going to have chemistry, and they're going to be fucked. It's all ISO ball. Devin Booker led the team in scoring with 20 in game 2. Shot 1 for 6 from 3. Like, it's not going to win you games.
What's it, 2-0 going back to Phoenix?
Yep.
See what happens.
If KD doesn't win another ring, is his legacy tainted?
I mean,
He's still a Hall of Famer, so.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
like the only time he won was with the Warriors, and then he had, you could call it 2 super teams that he was the leader of after, and he wasn't able to get it done.
Fact that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame is enough where nobody's going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, the Basketball Hall of Fame is also a joke.
Well, Brian, let's be respectful here. He's definitely going to make the Hall of Fame, and he's definitely.
Yeah, Brian, let me know when you're on the ballot.
Well, I'm not a professional basketball player, but like it's a joke. It's for the whole accompaniment of basketball. So you could be like a good college player and then go to Europe and have a good couple seasons and then be an assistant coach that wins a couple rings and you're in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, but just think about how that sounds, though. You're dedicating your entire life to basketball.
Yeah,
you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And if you end up being a coach in the NBA and win a couple rings after a full career of playing and overseas, or I don't care where you are, college, if you were relevant, if you help move the sport, I mean, even some of the announcers get in, bud.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying it's not an accomplishment. I'm just saying relative to like football and baseball. Well, actually, the Baseball Hall of Fame's a joke too, but relative to like the NFL, it's a lot easier to get into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Okay, well, I won't argue that with you. What I will say is KD will go down in the Hall of Fame, and he'll go down as one of the best, if not the best, scorer of all time.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Right behind Steph Curry.
Well, yeah, there's the central point of is KD a fraud? Did Steph got him those rings?
I mean, yeah, I think they got each other those rings, but
Steph won without him.
Steph did win without him.
The year KD got hurt, Raptors beat him.
Also true.
How about that for taint? Let's move on to the series that nobody's really talking about, but it is 1-1 going back to Indiana. The Pacers and the Bucks. Giannis is nowhere to be found. Dame Lillard's dropping close to 50 a night. And the Pacers have a series tied 1-1 where I totally forgot Pascal Siakam was even on the Pacers.
Siakam had a day in game 2.
He was at 40 points last night, 2 nights ago.
Yeah, this might be showing that when Giannis doesn't play, it might not be the best to appease him and take up a roster spot with his brother, because they could probably use another guy in there.
No doubt about that. I've had the luxury of watching some of these first round matchups with some good company, some basketball players themselves, and they're all telling me that Pascal they take Pascal Siakam over anybody else in this game except for Dame Lillard. That means Chris Middleton, which I was pretty surprised about. That means over Tyrese Halliburton, which I was also surprised about. But they were telling me Pascal Siakam is the best player out of the Bucks or the Pacers that's playing in these games outside of Dame Lillard. How do you guys feel about that?
When he's on, he's on. But I don't know. Siakam, I guess this was more back in his Raptors days, but he would just disappear for like lengthy stretches. I guess it's hard to disappear when you're dropping 37, 11, and 6.
His jump shot just sometimes isn't consistent. He'll brick a lot of shots.
All right, let's move on from this.
I mean, Mavs Clippers 1-1 headed. Was that in Dallas or are they going?
They're headed to Dallas now.
Headed to Dallas 1-1, right where Luka wants it.
Yep. Yeah, Luka and Kyrie, man, they've been playing special. I shouldn't say that. Game 1, they got smoked. The Clippers looked really impressive. Couldn't miss a freaking shot. But Game 2, the Mavs stuck around and got the job done. And funny enough, Game 1, the Clippers were without Kawhi. Game 2, they had him. But he hasn't really been looking like that guy at all this year. But Paul George, shout out Paul George. He's definitely been the best player on the Clippers so far.
Yeah, he's definitely not been pandemic P in this series.
No, he's been playoff P, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of rumors say the Sixers are eyeing him up after Tobias gets the hell out of town.
Paul George probably is the Michael Jordan.
Tobias is a max contract player.
I don't think people forget that. I think
The
everybody
Sixers are
does.
going to be able to replace him with a way better caliber player next year.
Yeah, and they need to. I don't. Jimmy Butler doesn't let people forget that Tobias Harris is on the max contract.
No, he doesn't, and rightfully so, because that is just horrible.
I just one last thing on basketball. I wanted to potentially make this my loser of the week, Anthony Davis. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but he comes out. I don't know how I didn't get selected as one of the finalists for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm the best defender in the league. Literally that night or the next night, Jamal Murray for the game winner hits a shot right over top of him. Right over top of him. Oh my God, the irony in that. They go to the press conference afterwards. They're like, some reporter asked AD, so what happened on the last shot of the game, the last play of the game? He goes, Jamal Murray hit a fucking shot, threw the mic down, ran out. Just thought that was so funny. Literally within 24, 48 hours of him saying, I'm the best defender in the league, Jamal Murray hits that insane shot right over top of him. It's just, it's so ironic. Just be humble. Just be humble.
Shots like that always seem to happen over great defenders. Like Dame's shot he had was from the parking lot over Paul George. And Paul George was like,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do?
All right, we good to
Moving
get
on to NHL.
My Maple Leafs getting a win.
I was just gonna say, dude, the Maple Leafs 1-1 headed back to Toronto. I don't know if they'll have enough to do it, but at least they took home ice.
Yeah, Austin Matthews, 3 points. He might be the best player in the league. I don't care about Connor McDavid. Let's go Maple Leafs. Is it we kind of talked about this in the last one, but I want to hear Jack's opinion. Is this the year it finally comes home to Canada? I know you're rooting for the Panthers, but
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Panthers, and if I'm not rooting for the Panthers, I'm rooting for the New York Rangers. So no, Brian, it's not going back to Canada.
all right, fair enough.
USA.
I don't think they have enough to get it done.
In this series or Canada as a whole?
No, just Toronto as a whole to win the whole thing. Like,
Toronto
maybe they somehow win this series, but I still think the Bruins are the better team, and they're going to find a way to win.
Toronto's got all the good vibes right now. They're on a heater. Drake's been throwing out diss tracks. He made Kendrick Lamar rewrite his diss track because it was so bad. Like Toronto's doing well. Even Pascal Siakam, former Raptor. So all the direction is pointing towards Toronto right now.
0-0, about to be the end of the first.
I'll take that.
Great stuff there. But yeah, Hurricanes, Islanders. Obviously, the Islanders were my loser of the week. Had a chance for a 1-1, bringing it back home. This could be a potential sweep, maybe a gentleman's sweep.
I feel like sweeps are so much more rare in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
But if there were to be a series, this might be the one.
I'm so anti-Hurricanes. I don't know why.
Oh, wait, no. What am I talking about? The Rangers Capitals. Rangers are sweeping that, aren't they?
No,
Yeah.
the Caps will get one for Ovi. The Caps will get one for Ovi.
No, that's not even.
Could be Ovi's last playoffs. They're gonna get one.
No, they won't. This Rangers team is nasty, bro.
Yeah, I don't care.
Brian, you're literally.
I mean, the Rangers are a good team, and the Capitals are one of the worst. I mean, I don't know exactly the statistic, but statistically, they're one of the worst teams to make the NHL playoffs in a long time.
They're
the
worst.
They're the worst to ever make it into the playoffs.
Since goal differential was a stat.
Yeah, I don't know why you think they're not getting swept, but they're getting swept.
Ovi will find a way. They'll win one for Ovi.
In theory, it sounds great, Brian, but let's see if it actually happens.
It will.
I got the Rangers in 4.
Western Conference, Golden Knights and the Stars. The Stars came in, I think, as the 1 seed, no?
Yep.
And I mean, I said it before. I think the Golden Knights take care of business in this series. A lot of people were saying that, people are counting out Dallas. They are the 1 seed. They're going to find a way to get it done. I just think the Golden Knights are better. Seems to be the difference there. They've been there, done that. Dallas sure was the 1 seed, like I said, but Golden Knights already have home ice. I think game 2's tonight or yesterday. as you're watching this, but I think game 2's tonight. I think the Golden Knights probably win tonight. Maybe the Stars even it up, but going back to Vegas, that's going to be tough for the Stars to win.
And Vegas has such an electric home ice atmosphere. Probably the only thing saving Vegas from being a bad sports town.
It's the only thing that the Vegas, like, they actually have a fan base that people care.
Probably partly because all those fans are sick of the heat, so they just like sitting in the rink for 3 hours a night. But those like pregame shows they do Vegas proud with those pregame shows.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people, they actually have a fan base. It isn't just like, oh, Vegas, like there's a team there. Like, there's an actual core fan base of people who like them.
That is definitely true. And I think it's going to take the Raiders a second to get established in LA as far as the fan base goes. But, right now, going to a Raiders game is pretty freaking fun. I mean, you're not only getting to see some competitive NFL football. Well, it's the Raiders, so it's not that competitive, but you're getting to see some good NFL football. And on top of that, the halftime show, you're getting a full-ass concert at halftime. Whether it's Billy Joel or John Fogerty, you're getting somebody singing at halftime, and it's pretty electric.
Is John Fogerty singing in center field?
Yes, he is. I saw it live at a Raiders halftime game.
There you have it. Head out to Vegas to catch the next Raider game.
They also have a pretty cool. They have a pretty cool nightclub there. Like on the end zone. Yeah, it's on the end zone, like where all those tables are. I think it cost about $2 million to get in for the Super Bowl.
Cool. Yep, got that down.
That lying around in their back pocket.
If they ever want to host the Views from Section 400 podcast, hit us up. We would love to do a podcast.
Know where to find us. The Views from 400. But yeah, last one in the Western Conference, Oilers Kings. Oilers are going to get this series done. Maybe not a sweep, maybe a sweep, we'll see. But Oilers will get this one done and then do their classic choke in the Western Conference Finals. Or maybe even in the Western Conference second round. But they'll get this done and then do their classic choke job. Connor McDavid's good. Maybe the best player in the NHL. Seems like he has a case of the chokes.
I was just saying, I don't like LA, so go Oilers.
Yeah, I hope the Oilers get it done, but that's the NHL. Flyers butchered it and had a 75% chance to make it, and now they're not in the playoffs. So, as you can tell, I'm just so fired up to talk about NHL Stanley Cup playoffs because you have the Capitals who are going to get swept out to oblivion instead of the Flyers, who actually would have probably made that series fun. So, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I got one more thing. Shout out to Florida Panthers, 2-0, up 2-0 in the series in the Battle of Florida against the Lightning. Take it home.
Avalanche got their game 2, headed back to Colorado.
Will the Rockies' assistant hitting coach be flying the plane back to Colorado?
Possibly.
The Rockies' assistant hitting coach is flying the Colorado Avalanche from game to game?
Well, there's an ongoing investigation because he was found in the cockpit of the Rockies team flight and allegedly might have flown the plane.
They made a big deal out of nothing, dude. The guy went up and looked out the fucking window in the cockpit, and they made a whole big, like, the FAA was notified that an unapproved member was in the cockpit mid-flight, this, that, and the third. It's all a bunch of bullshit. The guy went and looked out the window.
Can't have nice things anymore.
Well, was the guy going to fucking hijack the plane and crash it? No. People in the comments will be like, oh, you know how serious and dangerous that could have been? It's like, dude, he went and looked and took a picture. Relax. Calm down. It's okay. It's okay. Live a little. Anyway, yeah. Obviously, we teased it in the start of the show. Little fun NFL draft here. We have the live show tomorrow for the whole first round. So come join us for the 7-hour first round or whatever that is going to be. Just kidding. It's not 7 hours, but you get the point. It could be close.
It might be.
It's going to be a long one. I'm not going to get a lot of sleep having to wake up for work in the morning. I'll put it that way. But yeah, live show tomorrow. Tune in. We're going to guess the top 10 of the first round right now, 1 through 10. And apparently the loser has to do something on the live show. I don't know how we're going to judge the loser, but the loser's going to have to do something on the live show.
Yeah, we'll figure out what it is. Maybe it's you have to listen to the rest of the draft on the radio, or I don't know. It'll be something. It'll be some fun punishment. We'll figure it out.
Round one, pick one. The Chicago Bears are on the clock. Brian, who are they? I mean, no, we're not wasting time with this. Around
Malik
the horn.
Neighbors.
You're going Malik Neighbors.
No.
Okay. So around the horn, Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
That's solidified. We all have that. Commanders on the clock. Commanders on the clock. Pick two. Here's where it might be interesting. I have Jaden Daniels. What do you guys have?
I got Jaden Daniels as well.
I want to be different and say Drake May, but it's got to be Jaden Daniels. When you look at the quarterbacks here, Jaden Daniels has the most upside, and if you're Washington, that's what you're swinging for here.
RG3 2.0.
Yeah.
He's gonna be rookie of the year.
Patriots on the clock. By the way, NFL, see how quick I'm going through this? Patriots on the clock, pick three. Jack alluded to it. I got Drake May, quarterback out of UNC. I know a lot of people are saying the Vikings will trade into it. I think that's where Brian might be going with this one. How do you guys see it playing out?
Drake May.
Yeah, I got Drake May going third overall. Is it going to be to the Patriots? Is it going to be to the Vikings? It's going to be one of those two teams. That's what I'll tell you right now. I don't think – I really hope that the Vikings don't trade up to get Drake May. I don't think that's their solution. I think it's going to ruin Kevin O'Connell's coaching career, trading up, giving up the house for Drake May, him not working out just to make Justin Jefferson happy. But I still think that they probably will do it. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the Vikings do trade up here to the number 3 spot and take their quarterback, Drake May.
All right. 4, Arizona Cardinals. I got Marvin Harrison falling off the board. I think he's the best player available.
Yep.
Yeah, no questions.
Number 5, Chargers. They get rattled that Marvin Harrison falls. They go with Malik Neighbors, wide receiver at LSU.
So this is where Minnesota moves up and takes J.J. McCarthy, so the New York Giants don't.
Interesting. What do you have, Jack?
Well, Los Angeles Chargers have this pick at number 5. And my God, do they need a wide receiver?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Brian?
The first round wide receivers are stacked. They don't need to grab Neighbors here.
Yes, they do.
I think that's a great fit for them. They have Justin Herbert.
I'm going to tell you why. You have Justin Herbert, and you are going to absolutely waste his potential if you don't go and grab an elite wide receiver here. There are a lot of really good receivers in this draft, Brian. There's probably 10 first-round receivers that you could put in the first round, is what I'll say. Yeah. Are they all going to go first round? No. But there's a drop-off after the first 3, in my opinion. After Rome, after Neighbors, after Marvin Harrison, there's a drop-off to the next tier. And if you're not going up and getting one of those 3 guys with the 5th overall pick, if you're the Los Angeles Chargers, you're going to get another Quentin Johnson. So that's why I think that they're going to stick there and get themselves a real wide receiver 1.
Jim Harbaugh doesn't throw the ball.
Well, we'll see what happens. Running back.
That's a great point. Jim Harbaugh is the wild card here. He's the X factor. He's coming into this town, and he's going to change it up. And the draft is going to be a great indicator as to how that's going to what that will reflect in the regular season.
All right, so there's the first we went different ways. But, yeah, I mean, I have the Giants taking J.J. McCarthy and just their historical take bad quarterbacks right there at number 6. What quarterback did they draft at number 6 last time? I think we all know the answer. I think they make another bad decision and take J.J. McCarthy, who I don't think will pan out in the NFL. But maybe I'm wrong.
Welcome to New York, Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I think that they're going to take Rome. Yeah. I think they need a wide receiver just like everybody else does. And they're going to take Rome because the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh are going to take Neighbors.
On the clock, Tennessee Titans. I have them selecting Joe Alt, tackle out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, this is a boring one. I got Alt too.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, they need an O-line. That's their biggest hole is their O-line. So
Best tackle on the board. They need offense.
yeah.
Didn't Luan go to Notre Dame too? It'd be a nice little wrinkle.
Maybe. I mean, think about how many premier offensive linemen have come out of Notre Dame.
Sure.
But yeah, Falcons on the clock. I got him going with Dallas Turner, the edge rusher at Alabama. I think that just makes a lot of sense for them in terms of, shoring up the defense. That I think he's probably the best edge guy in the draft, if we had to say, and maybe the best defensive player. So I'll go with him.
Yeah, I definitely think that we have like another Will Anderson on our hands where he's a step above pretty much everybody else on the defensive side of the ball in this class. So I'd like him to be the first defensive player taken. And yeah, the Falcons are in a position where they have a good offense, on paper, as long as Kirk Cousins can come back from his injury healthy. Maybe they fuck around and take an offensive lineman here to really solidify that. But I'm with you. I'm thinking that they go Jared Verse, and it's just a great pick for them. I'm thinking about Jared Verse already. I meant to say Dallas Turner.
Yeah. So then here with the Bears on the clock, I think they try and give Caleb Williams some help right away. I think Rome Odunze goes to the Bears. Might be falling a little bit, but I just don't think those other – I mean, I like your angle, Brian, of the Giants maybe taking them at 6. I do think the Giants are going to be looking for a quarterback, though, because anyone with – even a blind person can see that Daniel Jones is not the answer. But Rome Odunze to the Bears, shore up the help, and pair him up with Keenan Allen, who's a good veteran guy who can kind of break him into NFL life.
Yeah, in classic fashion, you did skip me. So I will give you Dallas Turner for the last one. And then the Bears will be taking Brock Bowers.
It didn't even matter. You had the same one.
The Bears will be taking Brock Bowers and completing their offseason revamp of that offense for Caleb Williams. Cole Kmet's a good player. They might end up trading him, but Brock Bowers is a generational tight end.
I like that call, Brian. I have been sitting here thinking that Cole Kmet is good enough to the point where they don't need to make that move and go get Brock Bowers. But the more I think about this, if those big 3 wide receivers are all off the board by the time their pick comes around, I think that they do go Bowers. I think he might be, like the 4th overall pass catcher, which would make sense to go with him right there over a Mitchell or a Coleman. I didn't think about that till right now. I mean, shit, if Rome is there, I think he's going there. If he's not, I think it's Bowers. Let me give you guys something else. I'm going to go with another offensive lineman. Give me an offensive lineman out there in Chicago. I know people are telling me it's going to be J.C. Latham, the offensive tackle out of Alabama. But I like the Penn State guy, Olumolualu Fashanu, or however the fuck you say that. I think he's going to be the second tackle taken off the board, and I could see it being the Bears.
I got to hear you pronounce that name one more time.
Olumolualu Fashanu.
You just call him
Lulu Fashanu.
I just call him Olu Fashanu. I think that's fair name.
Olu. Oh, I like that. Like OC. Just change his name from OC to OC.
There you go. But I could totally see the Bears grabbing Fashanu as well. But I think if Odunze's there, they got to do it and keep Caleb Williams happy. Then you'll have immediately Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Caleb Williams. Nice offense to just immediately start it up.
Yeah, I completely just blanked on the fact that they picked up Keenan Allen. They got Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. I'd be surprised if they take a receiver there. I can see them taking Bowers. I can see them taking Olu Fashanu. Also could see them trading out of that pick, but we'll see. I take that back. If you're a smart GM, you're going to surround your first-year quarterback with as much talent as possible and not trade out of that pick. Grab somebody that can really help your team, but we'll see.
Keenan Allen's also like 50 years old, and he's lacerated his kidneys twice. So he's getting up there.
Still is DJ Moore still on the Bears?
Yeah.
I thought he left. For some reason, I thought he was on the Cardinals. I have no idea why. I thought he like left in free agency, but I am completely wrong. Anyway, to round out the top 10, it is the New York Jets, who have, for whatever reason, so much high hopes and high optimism for no reason, because I get it, they have Aaron Rodgers, but they are just known frauds. And here's where I don't think they necessarily need to make a pick here, where I think they might trade back and try and gather a little more capital. But if they were to pick, I think Brock Bowers makes a lot of sense for them to solidify a huge target for Aaron Rodgers and obviously go along. And their defense is already electric. So I think this is a spot. If for whatever reason Rome Odunze's still there, maybe he goes as well. But yeah, this is Brock Bowers. And then I also think they could try and get a little younger at tackle if that Olu Fashanu guy is there. They grab him, because people forget the Jets left and right tackle are, I think, 33 and 35 years old. So their two tackles are old. So I could see them maybe trying to get a little younger there and grabbing a rookie tackle. But yeah, if Brett Bowers are there, it makes sense. A tackle makes sense. Something on the offensive side of the ball. The defense is fine. They need to get better on offense.
I'm 100% with you, Matt. Defense, it's good. It was a really good defensive unit last year, and it will be again this year. It's got to be the offense. You got to look to the pass catchers. I love Bowers in the spot. Obviously, if you look back at their season last year, you only have to look 3 or 4 plays into the season to realize that they do need offensive line help. So I like them going with a young tackle here. I like them going with a pass catcher, whether it's Brock Bowers or another receiver. But I'm going to give you my pick is Brock Bowers here. There's been a lot of talk about how Aaron Rodgers is interested in Brock Bowers. I think I saw a couple reports on that. And you know the Jets are not going to fuck around and mess up like the Packers did and say, yeah, let's even though we have the Hall of Fame quarterback right now, let's work on the future. They're in win now mode. That's why you bring Rodgers in. Bowers is a guy that can help you win now. I think it just makes the most sense.
Rodgers likes to think of himself as a scholar of history. Whether he's a legitimate scholar of history or not remains to be seen. But either way, he sees Rome and he says, I want Rome. Rome Odunze is going to be a New York Jet.
Man, I can't imagine Rome makes it to pick 10. I can't. There's so many other teams that could use him in the first 9 picks.
All those quarterbacks.
We only mentioned 3. 4.
Yeah, it's half the top 10.
Let me ask you this question. If Brock Bowers goes to the Jets, is he an immediate first-round fantasy target, knowing that he's paired with Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Yes.
I think late first round.
First round meaning a top 12 overall fantasy pick.
Yeah, he'll be at that back end.
No.
Yes.
Dude, he literally could be like Travis Kelce on steroids.
Yeah, he absolutely can be, but let's not forget that he's a rookie. Rookie tight ends do not produce like we all expect them to every year. Kyle Pitts was the only 1,000-yard rookie that we've seen, and he wasn't even worth like a second-round pick that year. So I can't advise it. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll just ask the question. Something to think about.
Just gave an answer.
He will be the 12th ranked player in fantasy next year.
Something to think about. I think
this upcoming season.
Yes.
The 12th overall ranked player.
If he ends up on the Jets, yes.
Let me ask you this. Garrett Wilson or Brock Bowers?
Garrett Wilson. He'll be the 10th ranked player.
You know what, Brian? When the fantasy rankings first come out, we start looking at this over the summer. I'm going to come back to this clip. He will not be a top 12 pick. I would put so much money on that.
He'll be 12.
All right.
Look, I don't
Taking the
know.
over.
I just asked the question, but I think Bowers is going to be very effective in fantasy if he's on the Jets, and I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're always looking for answers at the tight end position in fantasy, so there's going to be that added value, that added value that always gets Travis Kelce bumped up into the first round, but we've seen it over the years, man. It really doesn't ever work out in your favor.
Did Sam Laporta not have 1,000 yards? Maybe he just had a lot of touchdowns.
Maybe he did. Well, he might have been.
Well, he was hurt for a couple weeks, right? He had 889. He had 10 touchdowns, so that's why he was so good in fantasy. Yeah.
But then again, Brock Bowers is definitely supposed to be an outlier as well. Not Kyle Pitts unicorn, but on another level like that.
Yeah, 100%. But that's why you tune in to the live show tomorrow to see this all unfold and to see who absolutely just butchered that first 10 picks. But I think, honestly, we're all pretty close. I don't know that. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to tell who was way wrong.
After the Giants draft McCarthy, I'll be sad about that and sad about my punishment. So I'm already looking forward to that.
Fair enough. Well, make sure you do check it out. It will be live for a long time, as I already mentioned. Got through the first 10 picks in maybe 15 minutes. I don't know if we'll even get through the first pick in 15 minutes when the draft starts. So stay tuned for that. That's all I got. If you guys got some more, please feel free. But I need to go take an ice bath and go to bed. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peyton Thorne, if you fuck this up now, you're the worst quarterback of all time. War Eagle.
Now in the mix with DJ Savage.
We got them receivers down in Auburn, baby. War Eagle.
Celtics are winning.